Hello everybody! I decided to make a video about the JET program and what I did in it and what it did for me and everything. So what the JET program is the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. The website is super duper helpful, jetprogram.org. You can find all the information there. It is so full of information. Basically what the JET program is, it's a program made by CLAIR, which is a part of the government that's like for foreign affairs. And the JET program brings people in from all over the world to work for different boards of education in Japan. And so I would say that my board of education, or sorry, my employer is the Kyoto Board of Education and not the JET program. Now the thing about the JET program, it is super helpful. They will send you a mountain load of paperwork, but all you have to do is fill in details, sign it, and occasionally you have to post some pictures on it. It's like kind of the size of passport photos. Specifically to apply, you do need a degree, but it can be, I'm pretty sure, a degree in anything, because I've got a degree in fine art, and they totally accepted me with that. Now you don't need a TESOL certificate, but it is kind of like icing on the cake. TESOL is teaching or teachers of English to speakers of other languages. So if you do have that certification, then it's just like a little bit of icing on the cake. If you love adventure and you love meeting new people, then maybe the JET program is for you. The sky's the limit. You can do absolutely anything if you put your heart to it. That's one thing that I wanted to say was that there's going to be a lot of hardships, right? Like going through school to get your degree is going to be so difficult, but the outcome is going to be so worth it. You'll have a newfound freedom where you can, say, for example, go to Japan and teach English, and that is just like a lifetime opportunity right there, right? So totally worth it. It's going to be hard, but you can totally do it. I know you can. I believe in you. You got this. So, the reason I'm here is because of anime. I'm not going to lie. I watched anime when I was younger, and anime, of course, does include a lot of aspects of Japanese culture. And I kind of got really interested in Japanese culture from anime and video games, so I came to Japan. I absolutely loved it. I went back home and then I decided, you know what, I want to stay there longer so I can like really dive into the culture and learn about the traditions and history and learn about Japanese maybe fashion and food and music and everything, right? So yeah, and like living abroad is really exciting. If you want to live abroad, totally do it. So I brought my husband. He's my dependent, and in particular with the JET program, you can bring your family members. So say you have daughters, sons, you want to bring like your mom and dad or whatever, you just have to talk to your Japanese consulate JET coordinator and just figure out what to do with that. It's just a little bit extra paperwork, but totally worth it. Now the application process is very lengthy. It takes months to do the whole thing. The very beginning you have an online application. You just fill in all your information, send it off, and then you print out a physical copy of your application, and then you snail mail that to your consulate, your Japanese consulate. And then as soon as that's done, if they like what they see, oh, by the way, you have to attach an essay to that application. It's a very short essay. It's like a page or two, and it's why do you want to go through the JET program kind of thing. And there's quite a few videos online that can help you write that paper. For me, I just wrote down my history I have with Japan, what it's given to me, what I want to give to it, and my interest in teaching. And honestly, you can be as truthful as you want. If you say that you want to come to Japan to learn the language so that you can get a Japanese friend that you can like live with or whatever, like just honestly, the sky's the limit. Just put your heart on that paper, show your genuine interest for your Japanese culture, and I'm pretty sure you'd get in. So anyways, once you're send all that stuff in, they're gonna email you back and be like, okay, you got an interview. And you go in for the interview, you're dressed all nice, and you're basically asked a bunch of questions by 3 or 4 people. And these people will ask you, oh, why do you want to go to Japan? And um, what do you want, or they asked me in particular, like, how would you use your previous degree to teach English in Japan? And my previous degree is fine arts and majored in textiles. So I started talking about, like, maybe we can look at Canada's First Nations clothing and talk about maybe the traditional garments of Japan and exchange those conversations, right? And just like trying to think of interesting things. Again, there's a bunch of videos and articles online where if you want to see what questions they've asked people, you can check that out. So after the interview is a long wait because they're sending their paperwork from the interview to Tokyo, and in Tokyo they review everything and decide whether or not to hire you. And if they do hire you, they send it to the Japanese consulate in your area. That consulate contacts you and says, oh hey, you've been accepted, but you're not completely a part of the team until you fill out the rest of this paperwork. So you do that, and this paperwork includes a medical checkup. And it's a very basic medical checkup. The only weird thing, well, not really weird, it's weird for me, is you have to get a chest x-ray. And this is just to make sure that you don't have tuberculosis. And that's an all-around thing. I believe every JET participant has to get that done. And then in May to July, you get your placement information. So they tell you, oh, you've been placed in this city or this town, and you either say yes or no. And then you go, you figure that stuff out. Again, it's just constant communication. People will always be there to kind of guide you step by step. And then you're going to go to an orientation where you get these lovely books. This is Beginner's Japanese for JETs. In particular, you're going to be learning language to talk to people in your workplace. So lots of teacher lingo, lots of office lingo. And then this one is absolutely everything that you'd ever need to know. They have the PDF of this online. General Information Handbook. This is for things before you leave for Japan, while you're in Japan, and then when you come back from Japan, back to your home country. It's got tax information. It has everything that you'd need in here. Super informative. So in particular, with my experience with the JET program, thus far, it has been nothing but amazing. I've literally had my hand held the entire way, step by step by step. There's always someone there to help you out. And in our apartment, you can tell it's been renovated very recently. It's a very nice apartment. It's got air conditioning. We had to furnish it, but that's okay. And the Wi-Fi was set up as soon as we got here. The gas was set up as soon as we got here. The thing about Japan apartments is you have to physically turn the gas on and off when you want to use it. So for hot water, you just turning it off when you're done. In rural areas of Japan, I found out that most of the time you're going to need a car, so it could be a little bit expensive, but your rent will most likely be subsidized, so you're only paying like $200 for rent a month or whatever. But again, it depends on the location. And then in cities like this, like Kyoto, we're going to be buying bikes. We can bike around everywhere, and the transit here is really, really good. So the public transit's good, so we can use that. Benefits with JET. I got my airfare paid for, and I just found out that my dependent husband, who traveled with me, is going to get his airfare paid for, which is really great. You meet absolutely super cool people from all over the world. The JETs that are here in Kyoto, I think there's maybe just a few Canadians, there's tons of Americans, lots of people from New Zealand and Britain, South Africa, like there's people from all over the world here. The pay is it's good, it's really good, you can live off it for sure. And when you're teaching, you're team teaching, so you're teaching with a Japanese person, and this Japanese person may or may not know English, so you really have to try and include them in your lessons and make them feel very welcomed in your classes and stuff, because especially in elementary schools. A lot of the teachers are going to be not English speakers, so you just want to let them know that you want to be there to help them, right? Other than that, that's kind of the general information I have of the JET program. And if you have any questions or comments or anything, please feel free to message me and I will get back to you. Take care, guys.